So thank you first and foremost, all of you, for being here, taking time out of your days to listen to students and really hear what the concerns are for those of us, or for those amongst us who often don't have a voice in making these very important decisions of our society. I would like for you for a moment to imagine placing yourselves in Jason's shoes. Imagine what it's like to be amongst a crowd of your peers who are also very afraid. But also imagine yourselves not being able to quite name what that fear is, to not really fully understand what are the implications. Why are you afraid? And at the same time that you're confused, having a keen understanding, a very specific understanding of what it is you're afraid about. Students are asking of us, of those of us who make decisions, almost the impossible. They are asking us to imagine a world that no one has ever lived in. They're asking us to imagine a world where you can simultaneously be safe without the fear of what might happen. When many adults make decisions for young folks, it's always about what might happen. What tragedy we're trying to prevent. It is very rarely about the tragedies that happen on a daily basis. The tragedy of students facing fear while also trying to learn, while being challenged to expand their minds and become something more of themselves, while constantly reminded of the failings of the generations before them. To those who can't imagine a world without police in schools, students have stepped up. Students have decided that they will tell you that there is a future that is possible where police are not in schools. For those of you who prefer business as usual, and we will hear that, what happens if someone shows up to school with a gun? Well, I don't know what's going to happen if somebody shows up to school with a gun. But I do know that when there's a police officer in their schools, there are many students like Jason who won't be able to learn, who won't understand why they are constantly anxious, who won't understand why the stress and trauma that they feel isn't being heard or respected or valued. We are told that there are many school administrators who ask for SROs or school resource officers in schools, and we would like to know who. We would like to know how many times have a police officer been called to school. We are also asking for what other methods of safety exist beyond police, and have these administrators ever been told that school safety teams were an option that we as a society were willing to explore. We are oftentimes told that school resource officers are necessary because there are police officers who are not trained in handling youth. And to that we say, shouldn't all officers know how to handle youth? Do students not exist outside of schools? Are young folks not a part of our societies? And there are many who will see our campaign and our mission to remove SROs from schools as asking for too much, as biting the hand that feeds you. And we don't think we're asking for too much, because we understand that schools and learning environments need to be just that. They need to be environmentally focused. They are not buffets where you can get you can get some chicken and some pasta, or you can get some juice and just put it all in a bowl. No, that's a disgusting meal. You must have an environmental awareness for what's happening in your schools and all the elements that are interacting with each other. Police are an element in schools that offer fear, anxiety, they do not offer the comfort that many say they do. So to those who are saying that we are asking for too much, we are asking for the right solution. We are asking for counsel, for open ears, for a community that is embracing and inclusive of all of its members. And police officers do not provide that. Quite the opposite, actually. For many of our students, they provide fear and restriction. I'm sorry. There's a lot that can go into this, and there are many directions that we are asking the decision makers in the rooms to lead us down. Because we don't have all the answers, and we're not saying we know every step of the way that this is going to lead us, but we do know that we can't continue doing the business as usual. Because business as usual means that we are sending students to schools where they can be arrested for doing things that teenagers do. Teenagers get into fights. Teenagers, they like to bend the rules because they're learning them. And it should be okay for them to break rules without the fear of incarceration. Thank you.